Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel which is English Literature with Himanshi Vats. Hope you all are doing really very well. In this video, we'll learn about literary devices. So it's very important to know what actually these literary devices are. A literary device is essentially a technique used by a writer which adds substance or an effect to the text they are writing. It is used to help the reader create a more detailed image of what is happening within the writing and is employed often in various types of written work. A literary device is any specific aspect of literature or particular work which can recognize identity, interpret, or analyze. Both literary elements and literary techniques can rightly be called literary devices. As we mentioned previously, a literary device is used to point a picture for the reader. They can add an effect such as sarcasm, rhythm, or detail to a piece of writing as well as creating many other effects which further pulls the readers in. They are a great way to insist the reader in gaining a deeper understanding of what is being said in the writing and are also used in a way to emphasize a point or to make it very clear. Many literary devices are put in place in order to convey certain information, especially if the writer wishes to do so in many creative fashion, therefore making the text much more appealing and interesting to the reader. Literary devices are an excellent way for writers to make their readers connected with the character within a story on a main more profound levels, and they can create a deeper meaning to these characters and their situations. As there are many literary devices and one of them is simile. Simile is a literary device by which one thing or action is compared, often with as or like, to something of different kind. If the simile is to be effective, there must be an element of similarity in the dissimilar things. When we say Neha is as intelligent as Rina, there is no simile because the comparison is not between something of different kind or quality. However, we notice simile in the following example. The weather is as hot as blazes. The plane was like a graceful bird. In fact, a simile, in order to be effective, must be real and meaningful and surprise us by its originality. John Donne makes an effective use of simile when he compares lovers to stiff twin compasses. There are two kinds of simile, the simple simile and Homeric simile. The example of simple simile is I wandered lonely as a cloud, as like a simple language. In epic or Homeric simile, it is called because it was first used by Homer, the great epic poet of ancient Greek. It is also called long tail simile because in it comparison is spread over a number of lines. Milton in his Paradise Lost and Pope in his mock epic The Rape of the Lock made abundant use of such Homeric similes. For example, the broad circumference hung on his shoulders like the moon, who or through optic glasses the Tuscan artist view. Another important literary device is metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech or a literary device that describes an object or action in a way that isn't literally true but helps in explaining an idea or make a comparison. The basic points of metaphor are: a metaphor states that one thing is another thing. It equates those two things not because they are actually the same but for the sake of comparison or symbolism. If we take a metaphor literally, it would probably sound very strange. For example, Vikram is a lion. Metaphors are used in poetry, literature, and anytime somewhere wants to add some color to their language. A metaphor is an implied comparison, a simile without like or as. The simile merely says that one thing is like another. The metaphor says that one thing is another. One of the most famous examples of metaphor in English language comes from William Shakespeare's As You Like It. In it, the playwright writes, all the words a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Shakespeare is comparing the world to a stage by saying one is the another. However, he doesn't believe the world is a literal stage. The comparison is rhetorical. By comparing the world to a stage and the people in the world as players in it, he is inviting us to think about the similarities between the two. Some of the most common examples of metaphors are: laughter is the best medicine. Is there a black sheep in your family? Time is money. No man is an island. His heart of stone surprised me. He is buried in sea of paperwork. Another important literary device is alliteration. Alliteration is a literary device in which the same sound repeats in a group of words, such as the B sound. Bob brought the box of brick to the basement. The repeating sound occur either in the first letter of each word or the stretched syllables of those words. Alliteration is the repetition of sounds, not just letters. Alliteration work doesn't have to write next to each other. Other words can appear between them. Alliteration isn't just about repeating letters, it's about repeating sounds. Alliteration is used very often in the lyric poetry and offers regularity in novels, plays, and other literature. It's also very common in more commercial writing such as marketing, tagline, brand names, and even in naming superheroes. Alliteration is also a tool for many companies use in their branding. For example, Best Buy, Canon camera, Kit Kat chocolate, Bruce Banner, Green Goblin, Silver Surfer, Wonder Woman are some examples of the use of alliteration on the names of few superheroes and supervillains. Writers use alliteration to enhance the beauty of their writing. Next one literary device is personification. Personification is a literary device through which inanimate objects and abstract ideas or qualities are spoken of as if they were person or human being. For example, opportunity knocks at the door but once. Death lays his icy hands on king. Peace hath her victories, no less renowned than war. While reading literature, we sometimes find the sun smiling, the wind chippering to the trees, and the shadow of the leaves dancing in the wind. Although literally the sun cannot smile, the leaves cannot dance without legs, and the wind cannot whisper because it doesn't have a mouth. We apply human characteristics and create these metaphors to create a scene. Thus, when we talk about inhuman things as if they were human, we personify them. Actually, personification provides personality, energy, will, and emotion to an otherwise lifeless scene. For example, the sun rose is a literary description. A more interesting description could be: the sun stretched its golden arms, climbed above the mountains, and smiled down on us. If author wanted to convey a negative feeling, he or she could have said, the sun glared down at us angrily. Thus, personification adds beauty to the literary plays. So these are some important literary devices, and there are many more. Same. This video is getting little long. We will cover more literary devices in next video. Till then, stay tuned with me on this channel and don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment here. Bye everyone. Stay safe, stay happy.